what's happening? Topic for discussion today. Are motorcycle windshields for wimps? I know that conversation is a little ridiculous. Obviously, there are some folks that honestly think, that if you put a windshield on your motorcycle, you've just taken the pussy root out. Well, let's talk about that. Let's have a little conversation about that today. Now, this windshield is an accessory for the 99 Fat Boy, and it is a clip-on, so it pops right on and off. There are a couple of wire clips right here, and you just simply pop those. There's one on each side. Pick up on them and you push forward, and it comes right off just like that. So it's an easy on and off. So basically that's what you got without the windshield. Now, the only modification you had to do to the bike was there's a little grommet here, and then down below there's another little grommet there that it seats into on both sides, and then it clips onto there. So you'll see with this bike, it's a pretty simple install for this. Now, there's really no argument. Obviously, some of the bigger cruisers, the dressers, the ultras, they come with the full fairing windshield package. Even some of the glides have a small windshield, but it all deflects stuff off the road. Why did I get a windshield? It was strictly for touring reasons. I didn't get it to go bar hopping, and I really like the aesthetics of my bike without the windshield, but the windshield has proven so valuable when touring, and most of the time I just leave it on. It's very rare that I even take it off anymore. Now, I have had a couple of viewers that said, you're kind of a wimp because you have a windshield on your bike. You know, only rubs and wannabes have a windshield. Apparently these guys don't do a lot of highway riding, or they'd see why. Now, what are the benefits of having a windshield? Okay, like I said, if you're just bar hopping and you go a couple miles down the road, you're riding around town or something, obviously you don't need a windshield. But when you're traveling, you're going to run into all kinds of adverse conditions. The rain, for one. When you're going the speed limit, say on the highway, anywhere between 65 to 80 miles an hour, depending on where you are in this country, and it rains, it's going to feel like hypodermic needles stinging you in the face. And you know, that makes a big difference when you have a windshield because it deflects all of that spray. The downfall to that, when it's raining, a motorcycle windshield doesn't have a windshield wiper, so it's very difficult to see through it. You almost have to look over top of the windshield. Still, the way the wind draft hits the windshield, it takes the road spray kind of over your head, so you're not getting that anyway. The other thing it deflects is bugs. One particular trip I was on, I believe I was heading out of South Dakota into Wyoming, and there were all kinds of these bugs, and I don't know what they were. I called them mustard bugs because when they hit the windshield, they splattered it looked like yellow mustard. So my windshield was so covered with mustard that I had to stop about 3 times at a service station and scrape the mustard off so I could see where I was going. I mean, it was that thick. I wouldn't have wanted that on my face. The other thing you've probably experienced if you've ridden without a windshield is the bee going down in your shirt or stinging you in the forehead or something when they hit you. Even a larger bug hits you and it hurts like hell. And then I've had road debris come up off of trucks and stuff. I've heard rocks snap against this windshield so hard that, you know, if it were to hit you in the face or something, it could take an eye out. So I was grateful. In fact, at one time I had a different bike, a different windshield, and I had something flew off the highway and hit the windshield. The windshield cracked right down the middle, and the top part of it flew back, hit me in the forehead, and launched off onto the highway where it busted into a million pieces. I don't know the quality of that windshield compared to this original accessory, but that was kind of scary too. Now, one thing you'll notice about the windshield on this bike is the height of it, and that really protects me quite a bit from the wind and the weather, but I never did like the aesthetics of it. It just didn't seem to fit the bike that well. I just thought it was kind of awkward. The other thing that this bigger windshield does is it causes a lot of wind drag, and you'll definitely feel that in the power and torque on the bike when you're on the highway. And without the windshield, there's a noticeable difference in the wind drag. A couple times I considered even cutting, you know, about 4 inches off the top of that windshield, just cutting an arc across there and sanding it smooth just to improve the aesthetics of it a little bit. And I don't know that that would make much of a difference. And it may make a difference in how it cuts wind on the rider and the passenger. I'm not sure how you all feel about windshields, but mine has been a lifesaver in a number of ways. Like I said, I don't like the way it looks on my bike, but I really like how it performs when I'm on the highway. It is really a plus. It is really a benefit. For those of you who argue that windshields are for wimps, if you're that tough guy that wants to ride, you know, 1,600 miles, 3,000 miles, whatever you're going to do, even 500 miles without a windshield, good for you. I'm glad you're that tough. I'm glad you can deal with the elements and the pain and the bugs that splatter in your face. That makes you a man, I suppose. I'm sure some of you feel that way, and that's fine. You know, we all have a choice, though, and comfort is always a priority with me. If I could afford it, I'd probably be riding an Ultra right now. Bought this fat boy in '99, and that's about the limit of what I could afford. I have to keep this thing going and baby and nurture it. So there's the argument for today. Are windshields for wimps? I personally don't think so. I'd like to see the comments. If you have a smaller bike that comes stock without a windshield, how do you deal with that? Have you added a windshield? And what are your thoughts about it? So there's your argument today. Do you have a windshield on your bike? Are you a wimp? Or are you a hardcore rider that rides in the wind, sleet, snow, hail with nothing to protect you? Say until next time, ride hard and die free.